Hey, and welcome to the Bellwether College Consortium Summer Innovation Series. My name is Rose Martinez. I serve as the director for the Bellwether College Consortium, a respected and influential consortium of award-winning colleges. It is my absolute pleasure to host this session by welcoming our two guests from Atlanta Technical College from, you guessed it, Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome Dr. Seals and Dr. Katrina Hunter, two of the main forces behind this award-winning Workforce Innovation Center and program. For those of you who may not be familiar with the consortium, BCC is charged with addressing critical issues facing community colleges through applied research and the promotion and replication of best practices. We also proudly honor exemplary and impactful dissertation studies focused on community college issues. In regards to the yearly Bellwether Award competition, we focus on three broad areas of innovation and honor a worthy community college in each of these categories. And they are workforce development, instructional programs and services, and finally, planning, governance, and finance. Annually, we have 30 community college teams compete in a final round of the competition for the national award at what is called the Community College Futures Assembly. It is our signature event. As our college leaders have shared with us, the team at the Bellwether College Consortium, it is one of the most valuable professional development and networking experiences. This is high praise coming from the folks that we feel are the most talented Bellwethers in community colleges. You can find out more information on the consortium, our competitions, and the Futures Assembly at bellwethercollegeconsortium.com. So enough of that. Today, I'm pleased to host this award-winning team from Atlanta Technical College. At this time, I invite each speaker to introduce themselves. Why don't we start with you, Dr. Seals?
Thank you. And again, thank you for having us. I'm Dr. Victoria Seals. I'm the president of Atlanta Technical College. I'm in my 7th year as president at the college. And my passion really centers around economic mobility and helping particularly underserved communities to thrive. I'm in my 25th year as an educator in this particular space. And so I'm excited to be here at the college and to be helping to make an impact for the region of Atlanta.
Thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you. I echo Dr. Seals' sentiments. It is such a pleasure and indeed a great honor to be here to speak with you today. My name is Dr. Katrina Hunter. I'm the Vice President of Student Engagement here at Atlanta Technical College, and I also have the pleasure of serving as the Executive Director for our Center for Workforce Innovation, which is housed within our division. I have been at Atlanta Technical College for a little over 4 years, and it has been a distinct honor to be here to serve our community. I am in my 23rd year of serving in higher education, so I look forward to speaking with you today and sharing the great things that we're doing here to serve our community.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both. And again, congratulations on being named the 2023 Bellwether Award winner in the category of workforce development. So that is what we will start with today. So to set the stage, let's begin with a short introduction to Atlanta Technical College. Dr. Seals, could you provide us and our audience with a general overview, please?
Definitely. And again, we're so excited to always, whenever we have an opportunity to talk about Atlanta Technical College. Atlanta Technical College is one of the 22 technical colleges in the state of Georgia, and our mission truly is workforce development. We serve some of the poorest communities in the city area, and we really help them to thrive in terms of gaining economic mobility. The vision here at the college is to transform lives through the power of technical education. And you'll see on the next slide is that we've been in business serving the area in the Atlanta area for more than 55 years. And so we are a staple in the Atlanta area, and we really thrive on, again, providing those opportunities for individuals to connect, not just to jobs, but truly well-paying careers. And so here at the college, we have more than 150 different programs that we offer across everything from the skilled trades to aviation to culinary to hospitality, you name it. We have something for everyone. Some of the things that we're most recently proud of has to do with our Student Success Center as well as our allied health building. And we're most really proud of having the opportunity to rename our academic complex after Mr. Hank Aaron, who was an amazing supporter of Atlanta Technical College, and his wife, Billy Aaron, continues to be a great supporter of ours. On the next slide, you'll see what we call the students that we serve. So like most community colleges, we have primarily or predominantly female students. So we're about 65% female, 35% male. We are a minority serving institution. So about 90% of our students are Black. And then you'll see that we have a large international population, which is unique to our college when it relates to offering the student visa, the international student visa. About, again, 90% of our students also qualify for some form of financial aid. So that gives you a kind of a glimpse into the needs of the students in the communities that we serve. We do serve here in the city of Atlanta, Fulton and Clayton counties, which really make up the bulk of the metro Atlanta area, but our students come from all over. And so again, we've been here, we really have a motto of start strong, stay strong, and finish strong. And that's how we encourage our students to stay focused on their career goals. And we have amazing industry partnerships, and you'll learn more about that as we talk about the Center for Workforce Innovation. But those partnerships help us maintain a 99% job placement rate. So again, we exist to help individuals and families to thrive and to be able to experience economic mobility. And that's through those different programming and those partnerships is the way in which we do that.
That's fantastic. That 99% placement rate is just phenomenal. I can't get much better than that. So kudos to you all. Let's go ahead and go on to the next question. Your Bellwether Award competition submission was titled the Atlanta Technical College Center for Workforce Innovation. Please share more about your center's genesis and the critical issue it addressed.
Yes, definitely. And this was really the first, in terms of being a president, the first major change and opportunity that I had to create here for the college. The Atlanta Committee for Progress is basically an advisory committee that works with the mayor of Atlanta. And so the city of Atlanta had really commissioned a study to see what are the things and areas, potential areas for improvements for the city. And what the study found was that the city of Atlanta was the worst in terms of inequality, the second highest in terms of poverty rate, and that the significant unmet labor needs in those key industries. And so as a city and the Atlanta Committee for Progress looked for solutions, Atlanta Technical College rose to the top in terms of the key partner. And so we set about working with the city and with the Atlanta Committee for Progress to design a solution for those metrics. And so in our design, we decided to focus on those highest industries with the highest unmet labor needs. And so that was around the skilled trades area, the IT area, as well as aviation. And so we decided that in the design, we would really be intentional about engaging our industry partners. And so they took an intensive look at our curriculum as well as the equipment and software that we use to train on. And we really crosswalk and align the curriculum with the job openings that they had. And so that intentionality really led about the creation of the Center for Workforce Innovation. And we, in the first year, served a little over 200 students. And now we've scaled that to serve all 4,500 students that we have here on campus. And so we've really set about a model, and Dr. Hunter, I know we'll talk about more of the model a little bit later, so I won't steal her thunder, but that was the genesis in terms of what led to the creation of the Center for Workforce Innovation and the intentional critical need that we're here to help serve and to solve for the city and for the citizens of the area.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, it looks like you're a major player. So I see the benefit, and it's wonderful for the city to take upon that research, because I know it's not always you know, it's not always exciting to hear that you're the last in anything, but it gives you a place to start. And I think it hopefully lights a fire for everybody to get involved, which I think is exactly why you got the award and why you've seen so much success. The community is committed to improving upon itself. So again, it's a wonderful opportunity for us all to learn from you. Dr. Hunter, what did the stages of development look like? You know, this is a large moving machine, I can tell. What were the vital components? Who were the all-in players? We talked about the mayor being involved in the city. What would you say were the most challenging issues to address?
Well, thank you for that question. And I hate to echo some of Dr. Sills' sentiments about the Center for Workforce Innovation, but I will say that realizing from the onset that the task associated with creating and implementing the strategies to meet and also sustain the goals of the CWI would require a significant amount of effort. We also realized that the same effort that it was going to take to realize our goals paled when compared to the significant and positive impact we were aiming to make upon the workforce and the students and stakeholders that we serve daily. So with this in mind, some of the most vital components to the CWI becoming a reality and meeting its goals were and continue to be our external industry partners, and community-based organizations and agencies who have over the past several years worked alongside our internal ATC team to develop the intentional plans to align with our goals and to make sure that we are all working collaboratively to align our resources in ways which can enable us to pioneer these strategies that are aimed specifically at supporting our students and advancing the goals of the Center for Workforce Innovation. Now, the Center for Workforce Innovation was founded around 5 key pillars, which have also served as a very vital component for the Center for Workforce Innovation. I won't go into detail with all of the 5 components, but 2 of the most critical that has really helped to propel this effort forward is the extensive wraparound supports to our ATC students, which is in an effort to eliminate all the barriers or some of the barriers that our students might face and to assist them in achieving their personal, academic, and professional success at ATC is one of those key vital components, in addition to our robust employer partnerships or our robust employer relationships. And those were not only to develop a more seamless career connection strategy where employers are able to more quickly assess and hire our students and alumni through clear processes, but to also provide our industry partners with a wider array of options to actively participate in the development of their own future workforce. And this has been very vital because it helps our students and our alumni to be able to see our partnerships in action. And our employer partners are able to participate with our faculty through mentorship, our advisory boards, in-class workshops and training opportunities. And on the next slide, you'll also see, to answer your question around those all-in partnerships. As Dr. Sills mentioned earlier, the City of Atlanta, and the Atlanta Committee for Progress were 2 of our vital components. But amongst those additional vital partnerships were, as you see here, AT&T, Delta Airlines, Georgia Power, the Home Depot, the Intercontinental Exchange, Truist Bank, and the Bank of America. So over the years, we've had many other partners to contribute and to lean in and to assist with this very important effort. And that number is growing on a day-to-day basis as the Center for Workforce Innovation reaches out to partners and as they just really, see what we're doing here to build up the workforce here in the Metro Atlanta area. And lastly, in terms of challenges, the Center for Workforce Innovation was launched on August 15, 2019, with a small yet mighty team, and a team of 5 to be exact, with the initial goal of recruiting and piloting our services to 200 students, as Dr. Sills mentioned earlier, in 3 programs. But after the launch of the Center for Workforce Innovation, it was exactly 6 months and 29 days that had passed before the national emergency that we all are aware about was declared on March 13, 2020. Yes, I did count the days, which was the global shutdown and pivots in business and industry operations that occurred during that time due to the coronavirus. So while our initial on-campus operations for the Center for Workforce Innovation were short-lived and some of our planned activities were severely impacted, what we soon realized was that not only did the pandemic further amplify the critical need for the services and supports being offered through the Center for Workforce Innovation, we also realized that our students began to reaffirm their commitments to successfully achieving their endeavors. And as they reaffirmed those commitments, our partners and internal teams continuously demonstrated their firm commitments to assisting them in overcoming these unforeseen challenges due to the pandemic. So overall, we are delighted that even through the pandemic, we've been able to thrive and still continue to reach our goals over the last several years with the CWI.
No, absolutely. And it's just amazing to see how many businesses and industry you have there as partners. So how amazing to have that opportunity for any student to see that and go, wow, there are a lot of options here that lead from, education to career. And sometimes I think as higher education in general, we don't always keep that end goal in mind. And I love that slide. It really truly speaks to what you're doing. Let's go ahead and move on. And I know we talked about the challenges of COVID and the pandemic. So I think this next question may speak to that. So decreases in college enrollment have affected many community colleges. Dr. Seals, can you speak to how your program population was impacted and if there are any kernels of insights you can share from addressing this somewhat continuing issue?
Yes, definitely. We're still working to kind of rebound from the impact of COVID. And so I think, as you mentioned, across the board, a lot of our colleges are seeing a decrease in enrollment. The other challenge / opportunity there is that a lot of times our community college enrollment is impacted when the economy or when the jobs are there. So on the next slide, you'll see with our Center for Workforce Innovation, we had some initial projections from enrollment. And so what we have there in the medium blue are kind of the old model in terms of what our projections were. And we've kind of right-sized in the dark blue there to show where we see ourselves getting to over the next few years as we continue to rebound from the impact of COVID-19. And so there are still a lot of challenges as it relates to the barriers that impact individuals' opportunity to engage in training and college courses. And so we're continuing to provide those resources that will help them kind of continue to come out of that. And so some of the things that we've continued to implement and the learnings from our Center for Workforce Innovation really is around direct alignment with our industry partners. So making sure that the jobs that they have open are exactly the ones that we're aligning our programs with, as well as our marketing to potential students. And that has really helped from the standpoint of elevating and being able to overcome some of those challenges and barriers. The other thing is in terms of not having wasted time or wasted credits in our program. So as a result of the COVID-19 virus, we also implemented a lot of short-term certificates. And so what we're seeing, and a lot of our industry partners started to recognize that there were a lot of jobs that are well-paying careers that don't need a bachelor's degree for the individual to be successful in that role. And so we've aligned with those jobs and then really helping to map out that full career pathway. And that's been the main thing, or the main part that I would share in terms of being more intentional about the programming that we offer and not being afraid to pivot and maybe, sunset some programs or to adjust that curriculum to make sure that it's filling that skills gap, but it's doing it in a more intentional and timely way that allows individuals to really progress in their career and to get to that job so that they can really sustain themselves and sustain their families. And I think the biggest part, again, has been our employer partners recognizing that the historical mindset of having to have a bachelor's degree for every career, that really is not the case. And they're finding that students who are trained at certificate and getting those industry credentials really are able to come in and be impactful and to get the job done for them.
Got it. Thank you for that. Many students face daunting mental health challenges and other success barriers, and we're all aware, some students live in food deserts or just don't have a home per se. And so talk to me about, Dr. Hundra, if you would, what institutional processes, practices, programs were developed to ensure your students' educational success and most importantly, their well-being?
So what we've learned is that whether the concerns are personal, professional, or academic in nature, any form of distress that a student may face has the potential to create distractions, which could then lead to barriers to student success, particularly if they're not addressed early and effectively. So in initial stages of developing and aiming to scale the Center for Workforce, and then another approach, I'll just mention one more, is that we have implemented and established a Pipeline Partners Advisory Board, which is comprised of a robust array of community-based organizations and agencies that I mentioned earlier. Now, these agencies and organizations are poised to assist our students with providing additional services and resources that can help them meet their needs. And so by establishing a regular cadence and a safe space here on campus for our pipeline partners to connect with our students here on campus, students are able to receive vital resources and supports to overcome a wide range of barriers or potential barriers, such as like financial, medical, childcare, and all the way up to housing and food insecurity concerns. So overall, our goal has always been, as I stated earlier, to not only have our students be able to read about our partnerships and read that we care and read that we're transforming lives on our website and through literature, but to actually experience it through our relationships with them and through our partnerships in action.
Great. Tell me more about that student advising piece in terms of making the connections. What have you seen that is just a good best practice or something that your advising staff employs and has had success with that? Because it is important, that first connection and making sure the students feel welcome and, like you said, safe, but also that they establish a relationship with someone they feel they can confide in.
Yes, absolutely. So on the next slide, you will see more of our student journey model. And as you know, that coaching model is very critical here because as students are progressing from our coaching through our coaching model here, I know a lot of folks here at the college like to liken it to the Candyland game board from back in the 80s. But it's very important because our 4-step academic success coaching model is very critical. I like to call it the 4 A's. You know, the first A is affiliation, which is establishing and building that rapport with students. And so our student success advisors sit with students and build connection with them. We talk about their goals and their dreams and those sorts of things, and also share a few testimonials from our own lives to help to make that connection and to build that relationship with students. As Dr. Seals mentioned, in considering our student demographic, we do have a lot of students or a significant amount of students that may be first-generation college students, but we also have those that might be first-generation high school graduates as well. And so making sure that they are able to humanize our team and they can see us as just like them. So that first A from affiliation, and then we move to asking, which is asking purposeful, powerful questions that can expand the students' thinking, shift their perspectives, trigger aha moments maybe, and also help the students to make a connection to possibilities. We don't like to spoon feed them answers. We're helping to train their brains to kind of ask them questions and ask them those questions that they can't readily just say yes or no to, but that they have that are actually thought-provoking as we're helping them to kind of make those connections. And then we move to accountability. That accountability part of the conversation is it's really holding the student accountable to set timelines to achieve certain goals, to hold them accountable to make certain decisions and to commit to what their next steps are to achieving their goals. And then lastly is assessment. Now the assessment component typically comes after the first coaching session. And as you heard me say, that it's an ongoing partnership between the students and the staff. So once the student is given their homework to go and do and explore, once they come back, then we start implementing that fourth piece, which is assessment, which assessing the outcomes and revisiting vital goals, revisiting their initial goals and revisiting the formal conversation so that then we can start that whole conversation over again about asking questions and asking them, what do you think you should do next? What resources do you need next? And it's been very, very effective through the Center for Workforce Innovation and through our student success advisors, because what it's doing is helping our students to be trained more and taking ownership of their academic journey. And these are skills that they can take and align with their everyday life and also carry with them as they successfully integrate into the workforce.
Yeah, absolutely true. I was writing down those A's when you said that. My God, that all that sounds really, really impressive and wonderful. And I like the sequencing of it all. And it's good that you said, and you go back to revisiting the goals, because we all.
What happens is once our students, they get the hang of it, and once they start engaging in these conversations, they start expecting it. And so when they come in, they're prepared as, oh, I already know that you're going to ask me and you're going to hold me accountable. So let me start. And it really does, that repetition really does help with the coaching model and really does help our students to take ownership and be prepared. And it does carry them a long way as they're moving into their goals.
Yeah, no, those are good life skills. Those are great life skills.
Mm-hmm.
At what moment was it clear that Atlanta Tech College or Technical College and its partners were closing equity gaps through this program? Dr. Seals, you want to tackle that one, or?
Definitely. And so my background is a mathematician, so they used to let me teach. And so data is always a critical part of anything. And so the main thing about the Center for Workforce Innovation was we were building our data capacity. And so as we started to look at the data, that's how we can tell if we are moving the needle when it comes to the equity gaps. And so our retention that you see here has rebounded to become, again, at or above the national average for community colleges. On the next slide, you'll see our graduation rate. We're extremely proud of this because as you can see, even through COVID, we continue to increase our graduation rate, and we've increased almost 7 points even through the time that we were under a pandemic. And that's showing us, again, because of the population that we're serving, we're seeing that they are achieving at a higher rate than they have year over year. And so because they're graduating and then with their placement, so our placement rate, as I mentioned before, continues to be 99%. All right, so that means that we're getting individuals and therefore families in these well-paying jobs. And so the other main thing that we're building our data capacity to do is to add on not just tracking if they are employed or if they're employed in field, but to really start to track the earnings of each of our graduates. And so we're looking forward that over the next 3 to 5 years, that'll be additional data points that we'll continue to track and to show that students come to us majority of the time from households of less than $25,000 a year. And we're placing them in career opportunities where they're earning upwards of $50,000 and $60,000. And that is how we see that we're really changing the game and really helping to close that equity gap in terms of allowing individuals and families to really participate at a higher rate in terms of the economic mobility. One of the statistics here in Atlanta that, again, really drove this work home is that an individual born into poverty in this particular Metro Atlanta region has only a 4% chance of elevating their circumstance throughout their entire lifetime. And so what we see is that the work that we're doing here is critical in terms of making sure that prosperity is not based on what zip code you happen to be born in. And so the data points that we're continuing to track are really demonstrating that we are indeed moving the needle on economic mobility and thereby helping to close the equity gaps that are experienced throughout the communities here that we're serving.
Towards innovation, our team recognized through critical educational research that indicates that students are more likely to persist through college if they experience a great sense of belonging and safety there. So we also recognize that this sense of belonging and safety cannot be achieved without early, intentional, and meaningful engagements, which build a solid rapport and also which establishes trust amongst students. Bottom line is, if the students do not first trust our team, they definitely won't feel at ease leaning on us during the times if and when they experience these daunting mental health challenges or other success barriers that you're mentioning. So thus our team became laser focused early on with developing intentional proactive engagements to offer students a seamless experience as they try to mitigate their barriers and as they're trying to navigate through the college. And we started implementing these strategies as much as possible on day one of the students entering the college. So one approach to stimulate success and the well-being of our students is the implementation of a 4-step academic success coaching model. The utilization of this academic success coaching model, which is vastly different from counseling and vastly different from advising, is used to positively impact student engagement and retention. And the conversations are more so focused around goal setting and really exploring the goals which are established by the student. The coaching also establishes an ongoing partnership between the students and the staff, which empowers the students to conscientiously create fulfilling outcomes, both academically and in their lives in general. And as you can see on the slide here, beyond recruitment, under student success advising, you'll see that intentional evidence-based coaching model is embedded right as the second step, so that we can make sure that we can start building this 4-step coaching success, these conversations early on, and establishing the rapport and relationships and trust amongst our students early on. This has been quite successful in helping to facilitate that sense of safety and trust and well-being amongst our students, and having them to come to us and lean on us as the front end individuals at the college.
Wow, no, that's vital. I mean, you double your income, right? That you just stated it right there, from 25 to 50. It may not seem like a lot to most people, but it's a lot to most anybody that is in that position. And so that's just wonderful. So no, and I think we're almost at the end of our questions, but it's gone pretty quickly. Can you tell us more about how you were able to sustain the program? I don't want to belabor the COVID piece, but I think it's important to understand what challenges were brought about by COVID and then your response to them. Dr. Hunter?
Sure. So while considering our general demographic makeup of the ATC student population, during the pandemic, the CWI team worked to develop a seamless roadmap to help current students and potential students demystify the college process, and also to reduce anxieties about key elements of their academic journey, such as, for example, the acceptance, financial aid, and registration processes, or perhaps tutorial supports. Because with the pandemic, we did see a significant amount of students that did suffer from those anxieties, thinking about, how am I going to be successful? How am I going to, defray the cost of college, particularly since I'm a first generation college student and I've never been to college before. So as many potential new and returning students were balancing competing priorities brought on by the pandemic, some of which indeed were traumatic. The goal was to ensure that the CWI represented the ATC mission of transforming lives through the power of technical education in a bold and palpable way, and in ways that continue to inspire hope and forward momentum for our students. So to accomplish this, as you saw with that little Candyland map that I showed you earlier, our team diligently worked collaboratively with all divisions across the college to gain a clear perspective of how they interact with students. And this enabled our team to clarify and enhance the student journey by annotating the overarching goals of each division within the college and the desired end state for their student interactions. And then as a result of this information was synthesized into 3 student-focused areas, which allowed us to proactively identify and resolve any gaps in services and resources, build new capabilities, and to also improve overall performance in engaging and services students and partners. And what that also did was afforded us the opportunity to make sure that students that, that really were new to coming to college or had questions about demystifying the academic process and needed the connectivity to resources, it helped us to more seamlessly create an internal student journey playbook. And it also enhanced our onboarding for new and existing team members. And what that has done is also allowed us to ensure that all responsibilities and timelines and processes for student engagement are understood and operationalized by all team members to make for a more seamless process for our students, across, for our faculty and staff across the ATC campus, as well as providing a roadmap for greater collaborations and cohesion with our industry and community partners. And this has helped us to be able to support our students through all phases of this ATC journey that you're seeing here on the screen. And this has helped us to make sure that from the initial interest, from a student's initial interest in ATC and to their ending with graduation and successful integration into the workforce, that we can be assured that they have successfully matriculated and that we're really moving the needle on economic mobility for our students. So with that being said, being able to seamlessly align internal processes, which enables our college to provide a less stressful, more predictable student experience, has contributed to our increasing retention and credential attainment, as noted earlier, and is forecasted to assist ATC in increasing post-pandemic enrollment because what we've done is, you heard Dr. Sills mention that our college has over 50 years of serving the community, but us looking inward and creating this process that makes for a more seamless, less stressful environment for our students has really enhanced our reputation and our visibility amongst those that are interested in coming to college for the first time, or perhaps returning to college to reinvent themselves. And that's how we've been able to sustain the CWI. And that's how we look forward to continuing to sustain these efforts.
Thank you so much. Artificial intelligence seems to be affecting every area of our world. What strategies are you employing to embrace the technology disruption such as AI?
Well, one of the things that we've always prided ourselves on is having award-winning faculty who really do challenge themselves to stay on top of, technology and different changes and the disruptions, as we call them. And really, it's about doing just that, embracing, the technology as opposed to being afraid of it or, seeing it as a negative. So throughout our different programs and our different uh, career areas, it's actually become a great tool that instructors are now using. They've had to change their assessment strategies a little bit, but for the most part, it's just embracing it and figuring out how to really add that, for the students to add that to their toolboxes as it relates to the various careers. I think a lot of the instructors also using it themselves, when you look at the amount of work sometimes that's required, to really be able to, as lifelong learners, learn about some things in a much quicker way. So the other thing that we're really embracing is adding this in terms of career opportunities. So throughout our software development, as well as just overall content, we're really embracing the AI components. And again, not seeing it as a negative disruption, but a way that we can really embrace it and therefore save time and energy and money in terms of how we do the work and how students are preparing to do the work as well. As a mathematician, I liken it to, when I taught 8th grade, a lot of the challenge then was, are you going to allow students to use calculators or not? At the end of the day, it's not just about getting an answer, but it's about really understanding how numbers work with each other and the value of understanding the numeracy and that sort of thing. So we see AI as, again, some individuals, I think, are a little concerned that it can spit out an entire paper or something or an assignment. But again, I think as instructors, our team has been creative to make sure that the assessments really ensure that the student has attained the knowledge, but really embracing this as a tool and a way to get to that end goal. And it's not something that has to be scary or be a negative as it relates to education.
Yeah, no, I like the term rather than disruption tools. I take that to heart. I use it every day. AI, talk about Grammarly and ways to improve your writing. And certainly some things I say, oh, that's better, and some things I don't. But it is definitely a good tool to have at 4 o'clock when you're trying to write something and you're like, I need some help. So, okay, final question, because I know we're running out of time here. Dr. Seals, I'd like you to conclude this wonderfully informative. So thank you both, Dr. Hunter and Dr. Seals, for your time and your talents here. Please share what it is meant to be named a Bellwether Award winner with us.
Well, we're so appreciative of being named a Bellwether Award winner. One of the things, particularly with technical education, just continuing to work at overcoming some of the negative connotation around technical college. And so being a Bellwether Award winner, again, has helped us in terms of positioning the college as the amazing resource that it is. So it's another notch in our belt in terms of accomplishment. And also just another way to talk about the importance of workforce development, economic mobility, and all of the different tenets that really drive our mission here at the college. So it's been a game changer in terms of how we frame the work that we do here at the college. And just like everything else around accreditation and all those outside third-party kind of verifiers, if you will, I think winning the award really shows, again, just a national attention, the national recognition of what we knew we were already doing locally. And so it's been something that we're very proud of, that we continue to tout and really help to validate the greatness of what we're trying to do here. And also from the standpoint of when we started the Center for Workforce Innovation, the intentionality really was to provide our employer partners with those playbooks that they could pick up, and most of them are national and even international companies. And so to be recognized by the Bellwether Award as being a scalable and replicable initiative really just really confirmed what we started out trying to do, which was to create something that our employer partners could go to any area in the nation or any area throughout the world and be able to replicate creating the needed workforce that they may have. So it's been an amazing journey for us. I know it's only beginning, but it's also just something that we're truly proud of. And it's a team win. It's not just one department, but it's an overall collective effort. And so we're very appreciative of the award and just the opportunity to continue to spread the word about the excellence and the opportunities of community colleges.
Thank you so much for that. And we feel equally grateful to have you all recognized from our judges as a winner. And, you know, we are only as prestigious and as recognizable as our colleges that receive the award. And so to receive that honor helps us because we are here to share, like our motto or our vision is, our mission is to share replicable, scalable, equity-focused programs that have success. You know, why go out there and try to tackle an issue when you have colleges that are doing phenomenal jobs like Atlanta Tech doing the work and utilize that as a model. And so we're really proud to have you all as a winner. So just in conclusion, I'd like to thank each of you for sharing your knowledge, your talent, your time with us today. Best wishes. I know you will have continued success. So we want to see where things go with Atlanta Technical College for workforce innovation. And to our audience members, thank you for joining us. Please consider applying for a Bellwether Award in 2024. That will be our 30th anniversary for the Futures Assembly. And if you would like to know more about the competitions, you can go to bellwethercollegeconsortium.com for more information. So this concludes our innovation session for today. Thank you so much. And again, thank you to our wonderful guests.
Thank you.
You.